Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me is my co-host, Joel Meyer. How are we doing today, Joel?
I've been better. I've been dealing with this cold for seems like 2 weeks now. Just when I thought it was over, fire's back up again. That's what happens when you're a smoker, I guess. You know, you just it weakens the immune system and then gets your lungs all fucked up, which is not good for healing from a respiratory illness like the cold. And also today I woke up at 4:30 in the morning for some reason, drank a bunch of mango juice, and then of course I couldn't fall back asleep. So I'm once again running on fumes here. But the weekend was good. Finally, we had a nice day in college, other than Georgia getting. I needed that Georgia win over Alabama, but other than that, things went fairly well. NFL was okay as well. It would have been great if the Bills fucking covered the teaser leg. Every one of my other teaser legs covered except for the Bills, so that would have been a nice cash, but they got smoked by the Ravens. So yeah, happy it was a successful weekend and just need to get over this damn sickness.
Yeah, I can't imagine, given like your healthy lifestyle, how you're sick all the time. I understand that, but mango juice is good stuff. There's a place by me has like mango nectar they sell. It's very good stuff. Highly recommend any sort of mango by itself, mango juice, mango nectar. Highly underrated fruit, I believe. There,
I live in a Hindu Punjabi neighborhood, so they love the mango stuff. So it's cheap, nice. It's great, the real thing. Love it.
Good stuff there. Yeah, good weekend for me. Hockey's back. Flyers hockey is back. I was in the Farg for Miskov's overtime winner on Saturday night. You know, I was going off for that. That was I recorded a Broad Street Hockey podcast on a Sunday, and if you go back and listen to that, you can hear my voice. It's reminiscent of last year when we would record after games. It was completely shot. I'm feeling better now today though. So excited to get talking here about the Metro.
Indeed.
All right, here, top of the show. Make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube as well. Like and comment there. It all helps the show out, so we appreciate all of that support. Also, get in the live chat. We appreciate you guys in the live chat. We're gonna try start this year throwing out some live bets at the start of shows if we're on during when games are. So hopefully that can encourage you guys to get into the YouTube live stream. Going to try to get a set schedule as well to make it easier for everybody. We got Archer in the chat asking where everyone is. Parker, the underbetter, is not here. No Catfish. No Mrs. M. We got nobody.
Trevor, where's Trevor?
Oh, where's Trevor? Hopefully Trevor's okay. Trevor, if you're out there, leave us a comment on the YouTube video. Let us know you're okay out there.
Better yet, leave a 5-star review.
Oh, there you look at Joel. Whew. This is a new man here for this season. But yeah, make sure you check out the college experience YouTube. It's live at 11 a.m. Eastern for the NFL. You get the Propcast kickoffs 11 a.m. Sunday, and then the SGP at noon Eastern. Last second bets, DJ parlays, your calls, and more. Of course, we had our boy Catfish Dilly call into one of their live shows, so that's some good stuff. Hopefully, we get some good more clips out of that. Before we get into the Metro stuff, have you been caught up on the Jeremy Swayman stuff today?
I have not. No, it's not good though.
It's not good. Cam Neely came out and said, "I have 64 million reasons why I'd be playing right now if he was Jeremy Swayman." Which, if that's an 8-year deal, that's $8 million a year, which makes him the 5th highest paid goalie behind some guys that he doesn't quite have the same playoff success as, like Vasilevsky, Bobrovsky. I think Sorokin's up there, and then Hellebuck. So he would be behind those 4. But like, he has all the leverage, and like, this situation's getting kind of interesting for Boston.
Right. Well, it's like the the Patriot way, the Boston Bruins way. They don't want to overpay somebody. Like that's how they've been competitive for so long. So they're caught between a rock and a hard place. He does have the leverage, but there's still the Bruins culture that they have to heed, because once you pay one guy who has the leverage, then the next guy's going to do the same thing, and so forth down the line. So yeah, that'll be interesting to follow. Hopefully it gets done, at least for this season. You got plenty of Bruins stock here, so it's highly concerning if we don't have Jeremy Swayman in net. But yeah, screw the Bruins way. Just get it done for this year at least.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much cap space. They have 7.8 million, so they're going to have to either send someone down or do LTIR or something there. But I mean, I think they'll be fine with Korpisalo for a little bit. They have a good enough defense core there to in front of them to play a low scoring game. The game on Saturday was against the Bruins. Korpisalo looked very good with pretty much an AHL team in front of him. So maybe he can hold down the fort for a few weeks or a month and a half if he has to before they finally get Swayman signed.
Yeah, that's one way to get leverage back on the Bruins side is if they have a legit starter in Korpisalo, because at his best he's a he's a very capable starter, but he was not good with the Senators, of course. Yeah. Archer says he's used to HL teams in front of him. Yeah, basically. Senators defense certainly did him no help. But it's interesting times. Did we talk about Laine?
We did not talk about Patrik Laine. Took a knee-on-knee hit from some Leaf scrub, and then Jack Guy went after that guy, just completely pummeled him. That was
nice.
Good to see there. But yeah, Patrik Laine likely out long term. He was watching practice in a brace and crutches, so that's a huge blow for Patrik Laine.
Yeah, the Canadiens are cursed. It seems like last few years they're the most injured team. So I was hoping that would turn around, but it's not an auspicious start for them being a healthy team this season. So yeah, hopefully he doesn't miss too long.
Yeah. We did discuss Drew Doughty though. He's like month to month, I think. But yeah, Laine.
Is there any update on the ligament thing, or is it still undetermined?
I haven't seen anything. I don't think there. No, so I guess we'll have to wait and see there. But yeah, I mean, Laine was a big addition for the Canadiens. I think we're probably still both pretty high on Montreal. We're going to get to them later this week. But yeah, I mean, if they had Laine, even better. If not, still on the up and up, but maybe not quite as quickly. And one more thing on Korpisalo, like he was good with the Kings after he got traded there in the 2023 trade deadline. He had 921 save percentage in 11 games. So if he can play behind a good defense, maybe he'll be solid.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, the Bruins play a similar system to the Kings. So he'll be better protected, that's for sure, than he was in Ottawa.
Yeah, we have Archer in the chat here saying Twitter docs think it's an MCL sprain for I'm assuming that's for Patrik Laine there, which
that's not that bad.
It doesn't sound that bad. It's not like a tear.
It doesn't sound like months.
No, it'll be back in a few weeks.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else before we get into what we're kicking off here? The Rangers here to start off this show. We're going with the top of the Metro for the show. The top three teams. We're gonna have a special guest on the show for the Penguins, so we wanted to save them for tomorrow.
That's right. The Rangers, of course, they won the President's Trophy last year. A very strong regular season team, and they had some better numbers than they had in the past few years. Like we always make fun of them, like just relying on Shesterkin and the power play, but they were actually, I don't have it in front of me, of course, but they were pretty good in terms of their underlying numbers. And yeah, Shesterkin actually didn't have the best start. Like he finished very strong, but the first half of the year, he wasn't that great. And the Rangers team kind of carried him. This was a team that were, primed to do good things. One of the lower odds to win the Stanley Cup. And of course they fell short but they made it to the conference finals. They beat the Capitals, of course. So they swept them, right? Pretty sure it was a sweep.
Yeah, that was a sweep.
Yeah. So they dominated them. They were massive favorites in that one, and for good reason. Should have been bigger favorites, in my opinion. And then they took care of the Canes. They were up 3-0, I want to say. Then the Canes made it interesting, 3-2. But the Rangers got it done in the end, thankfully. And then conference finals, our Florida Panthers just took care of business. Again, they were up a little bit, up 2-0, and then the Rangers came back, and then the Panthers finished it in 6, I want to say. The Rangers, encouraging season, I guess. I'm not terribly inspired by the team. There's just a few holes left, especially defensively, like Jacob Trouba. He's got a great hit. Like you love to watch him play, but he's not great defensively. The young guys continue to develop. Lafreniere has turned into basically a star in this league, and the older guys continue to perform. Kreider and Zibanejad and the like. yeah, I think it's when you're the Rangers and you're one of the favorites to win the cup, it's still a disappointment to go up before even getting to the finals. So yeah, overall, just a B, I guess. Still unsuccessful, but they played well enough to do some damage. At least they just ran into a far better team in the Florida Panthers. So what can you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if this was European football, President's Trophy would be celebrated as a successful season. But
That's
here
right.
in America, we got to be here in North America. You got to either win it all in the playoffs or no one cares. So that's what it was. The Rangers could not get it done in the playoffs. Had those early leads against the Panthers and couldn't hold that. Shesterkin was great for them last year in the playoffs. Wasn't as great in the regular season as you said, but. Yeah, their expected goals for % was a bit better, still the 12th lowest or 11th lowest at 48.98. So, 49%, not too bad there. But it was their special teams. Special teams, third best power play, third best penalty kill as well. Shesterkin, one of the best goalies, the best goalie in the league, I think, at this point. He's going to be due for a big payday next off season. That's how they won in the playoffs, and then that kind of ran out of gas for them. Like they they're usually a lot worse than that at 5-on-5. Than they're treading water even more than that. But they were better at that last year, but still it was sink or swim on that, and they couldn't get it done in the playoffs. Did get past the Hurricanes, but the Panthers were finally able to get it done and then win the cup there in 7, obviously. But yeah, Rangers last year, their point total was at 101.5. They got up to 114. Laviolette finished second in Jack Adams voting.
Fourth.
Oh, wasn't a finalist?
Nope. It was Talkett, Burnett, and then Bonus.
And yeah, that's tough luck for Lavi because he hasn't won one I don't think he's won one yet. And he came in, exceeded expectations by a dozen points, won the President's Trophy, doesn't even get the honor of being a finalist. I'm sure he doesn't care. He wants a cup, but I don't know. If I was heavier on him or heavy at all in Pennsylvania on Laviolette, I would have been a little bit upset.
I think it's about right. I mean, maybe he should finish ahead of Bonus, but I think Talkett and Burnett were the best coaches by far, in terms of their how they transform their teams. So yeah, I'm fine with the voting overall. Maybe ahead of Bonus, but yeah, I don't have a real problem.
Yeah, I say it more like he got unlucky that there were so many other good coaches that year. Like the year before, the Bruins had an insane season and Montgomery won it. Like if it was a routine season Talkett this year is not going to win it. Burnett's probably not going to win it this year. But Laviolette, it's his second year. Even if he wins a President Trophy again, probably not giving the Jack Adams. That's more what I meant.
Yeah, the voters tend to swing towards the teams that are supposed to be bad and then turn out to be pretty good, which were the Canucks and Predators last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why you got to take advantage of those betting markets there. All right, the off season, Joel.
Off season, right? Let's go. Not a terribly busy off season here. Rangers, they're a good team. They didn't really address too many needs. I don't think they're bringing in Sam Carrick and Riley Smith. Sam Carrick, of course, journeyman now. He played for the Oilers last year at the trade deadline. Just another depth, big body guy. And Riley Smith, of course, was I guess pissed off because Vegas got rid of him. He didn't really perform at all for the Penguins there. So it's just I don't know. He doesn't move the needle for me. I don't really like that. Barclay Goodrow is about the same player too. He was great with the Lightning, but he hasn't been the same kind of player for the Rangers. Alex Wenberg, another quality forward that they lost, but these are just depth pieces. The core is still intact, and they just didn't add much to it. So I think they're treading water here. They're in a stasis, the New York Rangers. So I guess a C plus. It's they got some young players they can try to work in, but as for free agency or whatnot, it's not ideal. I don't think so. Middling grade once again.
Another team in that C plus range. I will give them give him a good grade for effort trying to trade Jacob Trouba but he didn't want to get traded, so he invoked his no trade clause, and so he's there for at least another year as the captain. I do like the Riley Smith addition, especially just 1 year at 3.75 million. You know, he can fill that instead of trading for like a Tarasenko or a Kane at the deadline. They got Smith for the whole year. Maybe he can take a step up on that second line with Zibanejad and Kreider. But yeah, they couldn't really do too much. Carrick replaces Gaudreau. Smith is better than Wenberg, who they got at the deadline. So, you know, all things considered, they probably couldn't have done much more. So maybe this is worth a B or a B minus given their cap situation. Shesterkin's going to be the big one next offseason, as I said earlier. But yeah, you know, just going to be another big year for the Lafreniere there. Philip Hedl, if he can stay healthy, and Kaapo Kakko too. Like they still have those young guys who are waiting to take a step. So those guys could end up being their kind of off-season additions.
Sure. Yeah, projecting forward here, Rangers are a team that I'm not particularly high on, especially considering their odds to do good things. I think they're just too expensive to back them. What do I got them at? I got them at like basically right at their point total, 100.8. And yeah, their point total is 100.5. Make the playoffs minus 340. Miss around plus 290 at plus 230 for the division, 11-1 President's Trophy, and then 13-1 in the Cup. It's just too short for me to back. And yeah, I'm not even close to backing these prices here. Even though they got some experience, they continue to slowly improve. So maybe they take another step forward and finally make that Cup, but I'm not backing them to do so. It's just a team that have a lot of flaws. And like I said, I don't think they address them in the offseason. Their defense is still highly suspect, especially with Ryan Lindgren being another year older. Adam Fox, he's my favorite player on the team. He's a dynamic player. They missed him for a lot of the season, a big portion of the season. He got injured fairly early, but when he came back, he was more like his Norris winning self. So yeah, we expect another good year from him, but no, I'm not interested in betting him for Norris. And yeah, this is just a team I'm very in line with market on, so I don't have a ton to say about them. Yeah, it's good. They're going to be a good team, like the odds say so. But I just don't see any real value in backing them to do anything, especially because you said that like I expected their underlying numbers to be better than that. You said they're 11th worst. I thought that they improved more. So that's just another reason why I don't really like this team. Like they just rely too much on things that I don't really care for, like the special teams and the goaltending. And yeah, Shesterkin's going to win them a bunch of games, but I need a little bit more than that for a team that I want to back. So I'm not betting the under for their point total, but I'm not exactly thrilled to bet anything positive for them either. So I'm just totally staying away from this team.
Yeah, I think all three of these teams in the top of the Metro are kind of accurately priced in the division market. Like they're all around plus 250, plus 280. You can get the Rangers at plus 250 at a few different books and plus 290. That's almost worth taking, I think, because I think they have a better chance than that of winning the division again, especially if they can stay healthy and those young kids take a step forward. Like I said, K'Andre Miller, another one on the blue line. They probably looking for him to take another step up this season. He played 21 and a half minutes last year, but yeah, maybe minus 340 to make the playoffs. Like I think they would need a few different injuries to miss the playoffs. Does seem maybe a tad low if you want to have your money tied up that long. President's Trophy and the Cup, just I'm not betting anyone right now for the Cup unless they're like really long, and I think they're going to get a lot shorter because you can probably get something similar in season for a lot of these teams. So if you can get Rangers plus 290 for the division, that would be my only look here, positively wise. But yeah, I think this is a team that is going to be focused on the postseason again. So I'll be looking at that then, depending how their 5-on-5 goes in the regular season.
Totally agreed.
And yeah, Shesterkin's favorite for Vezina, plus 500, plus 550, probably accurately priced. I would not bet that either.
No, not interested in any awards here.
You have any thoughts on Matt Rempe over under 2.5 goals?
What, the whole season?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a line out there.
Yeah, I'll take that over.
All right. We're Matt Rempe on the Matt Rempe podcast here.
He's gonna play like almost every game, pretty sure. Like he played most when he got called up last year. he wasn't out of the lineup very long. 2.5 goals. I think that seems very low. I don't know. How many goals did he score last year? Like one?
He had at least one last year. Because Matt Rempe over under 2.5 goals on DraftKings, -110 each way.
Yeah, I like it. He's going to get.
He had
some
one
minutes.
goal, 1 assist in 17 games last year.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, maybe get an empty netter if they're up 2, throw him out there. Yeah,
exactly. I like that bet.
All right. There we go.
You could win it in October, then they won't pay you until April.
Yeah, I fucking hate that about that. All right, we are brought to you by Underdog. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports: NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and more. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boosts. So sign up with promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code HGP. All right, now we're going to move to the team the Rangers beat in the Eastern Conference semifinals, the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes, the Hurricanes, once again, strong regular season and fell short in the playoffs. Like it's the same story every year with this team. This is the opposite of the Rangers in terms of their, they have the always advanced numbers in terms of their Corsi, expected goals for, that stuff, and they're let down by their goaltending a lot of the time, and they don't have enough scoring. Like this team is like the diametric opposite of the Rangers, and that's a big reason why I kind of faded them in the. Well, I did fade them in the series versus the Rangers because this team just doesn't have any killers. Like they brought in Jake Gensel, so maybe that's a shift in philosophy. And bringing in a guy who can score the big goal at the right time, and he had a slow start, but I remember he played okay towards the end of the playoffs, but not enough. Like they don't have enough of those guys. They just have a bunch of guys who just do little things well, but they don't have any game breakers, and that's why they all ultimately lost versus the Rangers. In addition to their porous goaltending, this team is going to be probably about the same team next year. I don't expect anything different, but yeah, as for last year, it's got to be a failure because for year after year with these guys, they're one of the best regular season teams, but they keep falling short in the playoffs, especially to teams that just have like a bit of an edge, like the Panthers did the year before, and then the Rangers last year. Speaking of Matt Rempe, like guys like that, the Hurricanes can't really stand up to them. Well, yeah. What else is significant about this season? Like the Hurricanes are a team that are not really, what's the word? They're not inspiring. They don't. There's nothing memorable about them. They're just a boring team to me anyway. And yeah, like just get something done in the playoffs, then we'll talk and we'll call you a successful team. So yeah, it's just another failure of a team, failure of a season. So. Nothing else to say, really. The Hurricanes are the same team year over year.
Yeah, Hurricanes fooled me once again last year in the playoffs. I thought that they finally had it with the fresh Freddie Anderson coming into the playoffs. Of course, he screwed me and the rest of Canes Nation there in the playoffs. But I would say goaltending was kind of one of their big storylines last year. Peter Kochetkov started 40 games, had a .911 save percentage, 4 shutouts, 2.33 goals against. So I think he can prove to be a 1A, 1B right there with Anderson because they got to keep Anderson healthy and they have to have Kochetkov ready to go whenever he's ready, whenever he's called upon regular season playoffs. Like they have to be able to use both goalies, which I think they'll be able to do. But yeah, last year, like you look at their expected goals for numbers, their expected goals for is like 56 something. 56.93%, but their Corsi for percentage is almost 60%. So there's like
because they just take shots from everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. They just throw pucks towards the net, and like that's. I mean, it sounds like a small difference, like 2 point something percentage points, but like that is big over the course of a entire season, especially for a team that is always on like 90% on the deserve a win to win-o-meter, and people post that on Twitter as if that's canon and indefinite. No, they just pile up a bunch of empty calorie shots and they don't have any real scorers. Yeah, Gensel was fine with them. He definitely wasn't a reason that they lost, but not going the offseason yet. So yeah, last season it's cup or bust every year for the Canes. Like 111 points, It was over their point total of 106.5. Another great year for Rod Brind'Amour. Re-signed him in the playoffs, I want to believe, or right afterwards. So, yeah, failure of a season. C.
There's always drama over him being signed, right? Because the owner is so cheap.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, I can't think of it right now. Yeah, the offseason, though, they lost Gensel, of course, to the Lightning. As I pull up my sheet here. But they did add Shane Gostisbehere again. They got him back. Sean Walker, your guy, my guy.
You're both of our guys.
Exactly. He played fairly well with the Avalanche. Jack Roslovic, another depth guy. But, yeah, they lost Brett Pesce and Brady Shea, Teuvo Teravainen, Stefan Noesen, Jake Gensel. Like, this team are on paper a lot weaker than last year. And like I said, they don't have any game breakers, and I don't see anybody on their lineup that's really going to carry them forward. And they didn't add anybody to do so. So it's just it's a middling grade once again, leaning towards failure grade. Because this team should be spending more, and because they're in their prime. Like if you really want to show you mean business, they should be add more guys. Instead, they're just losing players. I know they have the cap space issues, but they have a lot of cap left. So I don't know why they didn't try and keep Jake Gensel at least. Maybe he didn't want to stay. I don't know the details, but that's the kind of player that they need going forward. Like I said, they need goal scorers, game breakers, guys who can score at the right time. And right now, they don't have any of those players in the lineup. So having failed to sign anyone of that caliber, it's C-, maybe a D. It's I don't really like what they like. Gostisbehere and Sean Walker, a clear downgrade from Pesce and Shea. And then Roslovic for Gensel, Mason, and Teravainen. Yeah, this team got weaker.
Yeah, this team, like I don't hate their offense. Obviously, like you said, no game breakers. I think they are hoping that Seth Jarvis and Marty Necas, or Marty Necas, if you want to call him that, would be the guys.
Seth Jarvis had a good year. We gotta show Seth Jarvis. Two good years. Actually,
he's still 22. Kotkaniemi is still 24. Maybe he can turn into something. Svechnikov's still 24. It feels like he's a lot older than that. Nature's 25, Aho 27. Like, their forward group is still pretty good and pretty young. And then you look on their blue line: Orlov 33, Slavin 30, Burns 39, Walker 29, Gostisbehere 31. Like, they're going to have to make some sort of move for blue liner at the deadline. Don't have much cap space left now. 79,000 after re-signing their guys there, the RFAs. Do have all of their first round picks in the next 3 years, all of their second round picks in the next 3 years. So they can maybe make a move at the deadline if they want to go all in. But this seems like a team that does not want to go all in. It seems like a team that wants to, be good every year, make the playoffs, and hope they get hot, which is probably the best way to win a cup. But I don't know, you might have a better chance getting those elite talents and, being able to go all in for a year or two rather than, just being great regular season and then taking a chance in the playoffs for half a decade or a decade. But not a great offseason for the Canes. I think Ghost and Walker are good depth signings, but losing Pesce and Shea is definitely going to hurt a lot.
They had to pay Aho this year, right? Is that why they don't have any cap space left?
No, I think that was Jarvis and Necas, or at least Jarvis. No, Necas was a RFA too.
All right. I guess, they prioritized those guys. So I guess that's...
and at least they didn't get offer sheeted, because the Blues could have offer sheeted one of those guys if they wanted.
Or the Canadians.
or the Canadians. Yeah, there you go. Instead of trading for Laine, they could have offer sheeted one of these guys.
Yeah. So projecting forward, you probably know where I'm going here. It's going to be like another similar season, I think. Just going to have a strong regular season, even though they lost some guys. Maybe it won't be as strong as last season, I don't think. Again, like a right in line with the point total. I'm leaning towards the under, though. I'd rather take the under here, or even miss the playoffs. If the Metro is kind of weak, you need to believe in the
Metro's
Penguins.
Weak.
I think it is.
Penguins,
you don't think it is?
Penguin, not the Flyers. Penguins and Isles are.
Yeah, the Isles. That's true. The Isles. But then there's the Atlantic, who are live to get 5 teams in. Yes, so maybe lean to the under here, the point total, and plus 280, but I haven't got involved just yet. Yeah, but this team, like, just scratch off the cup odds. Maybe they can win the division because they're a strong regular season team, but like nothing's changed. What's changed? Nothing. So the 14-1 for the cup is absolutely uninteresting. So yeah, I think it's going to be a down season for them relative to the past few seasons anyway. And yeah, I think that they could be a wild card team at the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, did I say the odds? Minus 330 make the playoffs, plus 280 miss the playoffs, 250 for division, 13-1 President's Trophy, 14-1 for the cup. Not interested in any of the positive things. Lean to the under, though. Lean to the miss the playoffs. I just don't think that this team has it, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not going to I would take them to make the playoffs minus 330. I think that's another good bet long-term for like the Rangers one. It's long-term bet. It's more of an investment than it's not an investment. There's obviously risk in it, but like, I think the only guy
investments involve risk.
That is true. That is true. It's a longer term future at a high price. We can call those mini investments there. The only guy that they might get hurt and then screw them would be Aho, but like anyone else, I think they can just get by without, given their system. They play their system so well. It's frustrating to play against, and they're frustrating to watch because they're not exciting. They just get pucks in deep. They block shots. They rotate all that bullshit. But yeah, they lost two of arguably the top, two of their top four defensemen in terms of time on ice.
They lost their second pair, right?
Yeah,
they're paired together, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah. Brady Shea played over 21 minutes. Pesci played 2017. So they're replacing them with Walker and Gostisbehere, who are both much more offensively minded. Apparently, they're going to be paired on the third pair, according to Daily Faceoff. So that's definitely a downgrade with Orlov and Chatfield on the second pair. I think I'd swap those around to get Walker and Ghost away from each other. But yeah, I'm once again buying into the Canes a little bit. I would take them to make the playoffs, maybe use that as a parlay piece, but not really much outside of that.
You think Walker's more offensive? I thought he was kind of a stronger defensively.
I think he's more offensive than the guys they lost.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's decent two-way, but Ghost is like pretty much all offense, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
You got an ad or next team?
We do have an ad, yes. We're brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models, or press build a model for me, and Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop. And also has a myriad of stats, Joel's favorite, research and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And we're brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business, BetUS. Been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. U.S. players are always welcome. Use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN. All right, going into the New Jersey Devils now.
Yes, finally a team that I am more interested to talk about. Last season, of course, it was an absolute disaster after a stunning season that saw Lindy Ruff win his third Jack Adams. Like he's won multiple now anyway. But the following season, of course, did not go as planned, and the Fire Lindy chants were probably back in business, and he eventually lost his seat as coach of the New Jersey Devils. But a lot of that has to do with just terrible start, terrible goaltending once again. After some, at least they got some average goaltending from the likes of Vitek Vanacek the year before. Not so much this year. That other young guy, what's his name? The
Schmid? Nico
Akira Schmid. Yes, he was not good either after showing some promise the year before. And that's a big reason why they fell apart. Plus, they were one of the most injured teams. We lost Jack Hughes for a while. We lost Nico Hischier for a while. We lost Dougie Hamilton for, I want to say, the most of the season. And there you go. There's 3 of your best players right off the team. So yeah, it's hard to overcome those injuries, especially when you're not getting goaltending, and the power play should be better than what it is. Like Jack Hughes, even when he was healthy, he was not the boss he was the year before, especially on the power play. So that's why this team missed the playoffs, even though they're far more talented and should not be missing the playoffs. But that's what happens when you lose all those players to the injuries, and yeah, you don't get a replacement goaltending. So that's why this team fell apart. Obviously, you got to give an F. Like a team that were one of the favorites to win the division, if not the favorite, if I remember correctly. It was them and the Hurricanes anyway, and they just missed the playoffs. Like they're minus 400, minus 500 to make before the season. So yeah, absolute disaster of a season. There's no way you can give them anything other than F, even though a lot of that has to do with bad luck.
Yeah, absolutely a failure of the season. Over under 105.5. They got to 81 points, so 24 points under their point total. They cost me my same 8 teams to make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference bet, because yeah, they were huge favorites to make the playoffs. They were, I think, at least minus 500. I'm trying to look up what they were, because I think they were right there with the Canes last year to win the division. But yeah, like you said, so many injuries. Dougie Hamilton only played 20 games. Jack Hughes missed 20 games himself. Nico Hischier missed 11 games. Timo Meyer missed.
He only missed 11. I want to say it was more than that.
It felt like more than that, but I think a lot of them may have overlapped with Jack Hughes, which made it just feel that much worse. And Luke Hughes, decent rookie season, 47 points in a full season. Jesper Bratt had a kind of a coming out party, 83 points in the full season there. But just a bad year, rotated through a bunch of goalies that couldn't do anything. So huge F here for the Devils.
Big F. But the opposite is true of their offseason. Once again, Tom Fitzgerald is showing how it's done. Bringing in Brett Pesce. We talked about him with the Hurricanes, so that's another defensive presence there. That's a strong fix for them, because we know that the weakness is on defense. So getting that big guy back there will be important. And of course, the biggest one, Jacob Markstrom, to hopefully address the goaltending woes for this team long term. I mean, they've tried the spinning wheel, just trying all these different guys and hoping one catches fire. But Jacob Markstrom, they finally just shelled out the bucks for this guy, and I think they actually got a pretty good deal. Like the Flames almost got them to buy him, or got the Devils to trade for him by the trade deadline, but apparently they added some extra demand right at the last second, so it did not go through the trade deadline. But they got it for cheaper in the offseason, so it worked out better for the Devils anyway, because they weren't going to do anything in the playoffs, even if they snuck in with the way that their team was looking. But yeah, getting Jacob Markstrom there, that's the big one. Stefan Nason, again from the Hurricanes, strong piece there. And then a good depth piece in Brendan Dillon, Thomas Tatar. Thomas Tatar is kind of famous for playing well in the regular season, but falling apart in the playoffs. So we'll see if that transpires. And they only lost Thomas Nosek, another depth guy, and Alexander Holtz, who was a former first-round pick, but never really panned out. This is an excellent offseason, though. Like they upgraded their biggest needs, both defensively with Pesce and Dillon, and in net with Jacob Markstrom. So I love this offseason for the Devils, and that's another reason why we are high on them again. So you got to give them an A.
Absolutely, completely agree with all of that. Didn't really lose too much of value, like you said. Nosek and Holtz got that back into Tatar, Stefan Nason, two kind of depth guys there. Even though Tatar is probably playing second line, try to get some scoring there. Brett Pesce, Brendan Dillon, both brought in, both two decent defensemen there. Brendan Dillon they have on the top pair with Dougie Hamilton, which seems wrong, but I know Luke Hughes is out for a little bit, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, the big one, Markstrom, obviously a huge get for them, was not a big price to pay whatsoever, and his contract's decent, $4.125 million until the end of next season. So him and Allen are the tandem for this season. Bunch of their contract, like Jack Hughes is $8 million until 2030. That's going to be one of the best contracts in the league for a while. Timo Meyer 8.8, Nico Hischier 7.25. Like they have these guys under contract pretty good. Dougie Hamilton, Brett Pesce. So great offseason for the Devils. Got to give them another rat here.
And of course, Sheldon Keefe, hiring Sheldon Keefe is another thing that we should mention. Didn't have his best time with the Leafs, but I think he's a decent coach, and working in a less intensive environment, I think, will be good for him going forward. And projecting forward, this is a team, once again, we are quite high on. We have them as the 5th best team in the league, right between the Bruins and the Panthers, or switch that. Panthers better, Bruins slightly worse. Projecting them for 103.5 points. So clearly above the point total of a 100.5, minus $4 to make the playoffs, $350 to miss, $250 for the division. That's got to be a little bit off market, I think. Same as the Hurricanes there. 13-1 President's Trophy, 13-1 for the Cup. I mean, the Cup price now is probably is bet too far down to back them now, especially because they don't have a ton of playoff experience. But I've got some of that in pocket at 20, 22 to 1. President's Trophy, I think, is a decent bet as well. So look, these are wild numbers historically, considering I've never seen a team that missed the playoffs be favored to win the division next year and be one of the favorites. Like, at some books, the Devils are the favorite to win the Cup along with the Oilers. It's absolutely mad. A team that missed the playoffs the previous season. I've never seen anything like it in the NHL. But for good reason, like we said, a tremendous offseason, plus, a lot of that health luck's got to regress positively unless you're the Canadiens, apparently. But yeah, this is a team we love to watch, love to bet on. They got terrific speed, terrific firepower. Very interested to see how Sheldon Keefe turns his team around, what his team looks like. Their identity's got to change a little bit from the Lindy rough days. High on this team. Bet their point total over. Bet them for the division. Bet them to win the Cup. Bet them for President's Trophy. So I'm all in once again on the New Jersey Devils. God help me. Like you look at the lineup, it's terrific. You got Hughes down the middle, Hischier down the middle, awesome 1-2, and then you got Jesper Bratt. You mentioned he had a great year last year. Timo Meyer, he finally showed some positive signs towards the end of last year. He had a slow start with the Devils, but I think he's turning it around and provide some much needed size because this is a smaller team, but you got to have that power forward in there. Dawson Mercer, another quality young guy. Then you got the vets, Andre Palat, Eric Holla in the bottom 6. Paul Cotter, that's another guy they brought in from the Graves Golden Knights. Guy who won the Stanley Cup, so that's some much needed experience. And defensively, like this is awesome. Like Dougie Hamilton, Brendan Dillon, projected to be the first pairing there. I quite like that. Hopefully Hamilton is recovers nicely and is as good as he was before he got hurt. Jonas Siegenthaler, he had a down year last year, but he's like, if you look at the analytics guys, they think he's one of the best defensive defensemen in the league. So hopefully he goes back to his old form. Simon Nemec, Luke Hughes, those former early round picks, first round picks, like top 5 picks. They have all the pedigree in the world. So those guys can come in and just elevate this team to another level. Like Simon Nemec had a better year, I thought, than Luke Hughes last year in limited sample size. But yeah, like I said, very high on this team. I think that they'll do good things, and hopefully Jacob Markstrom has a year like last year, not like the year before where he was absolutely terrible. So hopefully he can adjust to the new system here with Sheldon Keefe's New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you here. I'm pretty high on the Devils this season. I think I did have the division odds kind of backwards. You can get the Devils plus 250, but the more on their plus 230 multiple books, then the Rangers are plus 250, not plus 230. But they're all around the plus 250 range. You can get all of them plus 250 or better if you shop around. Devils plus 250, probably my favorite division bet here. President's Trophy 13-1. I don't mind, but if you are kind of afraid of the Oilers running away with it, you can get them top seed in the East at 6-1 here on DraftKings. A little bit less than half of the 13-1, but don't have to worry about the Oilers or Stars or anyone else over there in the West. So if you want to look that way, I do like that.
That's pretty good, I think.
Yeah. I went back and looked last year. They were plus 240 before the season started for the division. Canes were plus 175. So, pretty much same odds right now going into this season after a failure of a season and then an A+ for their off season. So comes down to Markstrom, but yeah, as Joel went through the lineup, they don't really have too big of any holes there. And that's even with Luke Hughes out for probably 4 to 6 more weeks, probably early November coming back there. So like all those bets, this is a team where I'd probably consider taking them 13-1 for Cup. I don't know if they're going to get a lot longer than that. I could see them just starting out hot and going wire to wire, top of the Metro possibly. So speaking of that, starting out hot, Jack Hughes for Hart Trophy is 12-1, 13-1, the highest there. He had an amazing start last year. He got bet down a ton based off a 10-game sample size, which was worth it, based on those stats. Then he got hurt though. So if he can stay healthy, I know McDavid is probably going to have to get hurt to not win it, but Jack Hughes 13-1. If the Devils win the division, win their President's Trophy, I could see him getting some love there.
Yeah, don't hate that. I have a little bit of Markstrom for Vezina in pocket, 12-1, 13-1. Other than that, not really interested. Sheldon Keefe is he's the logical choice. He's going to be turning around a team that missed the playoffs into a team that likely makes the playoffs. But the problem with that is that there's expectations. I've been over this before. Like they're expected to make the playoffs. They're minus 400 to make the playoffs. So he's not going to get as much love as say Randy Ruff, like a team that's not. They're going to be considered a bubble team at best. And yeah, I'd much rather back guys like that at much bigger prices because Sheldon Keefe is some as low as 6-1 to win the Jack Adams, which is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, only have Markstrom for Vezina in terms of the award stuff, but I don't hate Jack Hughes to win the Hart. He definitely has the potential to do so. Of course, he's watched his brother win multiple awards, and maybe one day he'll get his.
Yeah, I want to check what the Norris odds were for Dougie Hamilton. He's as short as 30-1, but he's 75-1 on DraftKings. He's finished top 7 in Norris voting 3 times in his career, including 6th in his last full season, 82 games. If that power play is clicking and he's on that top unit, he could get a lot of points. Luke Hughes 100-1, but he's missing a lot of the season, so he probably won't get that quite yet. But Dougie Hamilton, if you're looking for some Norris Trophy lottery tickets, a few bucks on that at 75-1, you could do worse.
Sure, I'm not frightening anyone out of betting that. It's just I'd be a little concerned considering the extent of his injury and coming back from that, plus the fact that Cale Makar exists.
Cale Makar exists. Quinn Hughes exists. Who else are the favorites? Adam Fox, Evan Bouchard. I could see Evan Bouchard finally getting his regular season dues after being a playoff beast the past 2 years.
I'm not buying that. I'm not betting Evan Bouchard.
I mean, I wouldn't bet it, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's at least a finalist.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have my doubts.
Okay. All right. I think that's going to do it for these 3 teams. You got anything else here before we close it out?
No, I bet some football stuff, but last night just drunk firing stuff that I think will move. I haven't written them down. I do know that I like the Saints. You can still find a +6 versus the Chiefs. It's probably +5.5 most places, but I think the Chiefs are getting too much credit. They're scraping away with these wins and not even covering. So yeah, I like the Saints quite a bit to cover. They were the better team against the Falcons too. They got very unlucky to lose that game, giving up that stupid ass muff punt by Raheem Shaheed, and then a tipped pick 6, and then that 58-yarder for a game-winning field goal. That was unfortunate for the Falcons, just because I got the Saints in the box to win the division, so the Falcons got to fuck off. Yeah, I do like the Saints to get the job done, at least cover the spread against the Chiefs, who do not look like the same team. All right, well, they do like the same team as last year because they just have no offense. They're just
until the playoffs, yeah. And then just
exactly, yeah. Then you just bet them then.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be hearing a lot from us this week. So Joel didn't write them down, but he'll get them to you tomorrow or Wednesday or Friday when we record. But yeah, I'm still pushing Matvei Mishkov, Calder +350. Over 46.5 points on FanDuel still. It's 48.5 on DraftKings. He's looking real good. He's going to get a chance. He's going to play in the top 6 all year long. And he should have a long leash and shouldn't be getting healthy scratched by Torts. But that remains to be seen because I don't know if that's ever happened with a young player. Okay. Once again, make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff there. If you're looking to get involved with the Hockey Gambling Podcast, host, social, producer, anything, let us know on Twitter at HockeySGPN. You can email us, hockeygamblingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach out to myself on Twitter. I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
And I'm Joel Meyer, and you'll still find me at Chuff and Darst to get this fucking cold out of my system. Burn it down.
See ya.